With a deep scar marking his upper lip, a thick dark beard covering his face, and only a faint stubble on his head, Khamzat Chimaev has never presented himself as a man who shies away from violence. As he prepares for his highly anticipated clash with UFC middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis, the undefeated contender projects the aura of someone unshaken by fear. Yet Chimaev himself is the first to admit that his life and career are not built entirely on fearlessness. Speaking to reporters this week, the Russian-born fighter revealed a surprising perspective about the very sport that has made him a global star. His comments came while discussing the gym he is building for children near his home in the Chechen Republic. "MMA is a scary sport," Chimaev said candidly. "We punch each other in the face, we break each other. I don't think MMA is good for kids." The scar that gives Chimaev such a distinctive look is not the result of years in the cage. Instead, it dates back to when he was just 2 years old, after a fall down a concrete staircase. Now at 31, that scar serves as a reminder of his toughness. Toughness he demonstrates every time he steps inside the octagon. Chimaev enters his championship fight with du Plessis, carrying a flawless record of 14-0, including 8 wins under the UFC banner. His victories have been split between 6 knockouts and 6 submissions, and many of those wins have been as brutal as they were decisive. His dominance has positioned him as one of the sport's most feared competitors, a man capable of finishing opponents in nearly any fashion. But success, Chimaev stressed, also carries responsibility. For him, the concern lies in what children take away from watching his career. While his new gym will offer young athletes a place to grow, learn and train, it will not include an MMA cage. "This is an amazing sport," he explained, "but not for kids, at least not at an early age. I think they should start with other disciplines. Boxing, judo, wrestling, grappling. There are so many options for young boys before they step into MMA." His philosophy is clear. The foundations of combat sports can be built safely and positively, but the unforgiving nature of mixed martial arts should be reserved for when fighters are mature enough to handle its intensity. For that reason, his gym will focus on instilling discipline, fitness, and technical skills without exposing children to the dangers of full-contact MMA. If Chimaev shows caution when it comes to youth development, that caution disappears entirely when the conversation shifts to his opponent. Asked about du Plessis' well-documented trash talk, Chimaev dismissed it without hesitation. "Whatever he says, I don't care about," Chimaev stated. "I came here to beat him up, take my money and go home." As fight night approaches, the scarred warrior from Chechnya remains as uncompromising as ever, thoughtful about the future of young athletes, but ruthless in his mission inside the cage. Before moving on to the next news, we have a quick request for you. We're always working to improve our content and truly value your support. If you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, it would mean a lot to us. That way you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Former UFC lightweight champion and MMA legend, Khabib Nurmagomedov, has never shied away from voicing his honest opinions about the sport. Recently, he turned his attention to a hypothetical matchup between his cousin, Usman Nurmagomedov, and the current UFC lightweight champion Ilia Topuria. While some might dismiss Khabib's views as biased given his family ties, his argument carries weight when examined through the lens of accomplishments and skill sets. Khabib firmly believes that Usman Nurmagomedov is the more complete, well-rounded fighter compared to Topuria. His reasoning is simple: resumes don't lie. Usman has put together an impressive track record across multiple organizations, including Eagles MMA, Bellator, and most recently, the PFL. Along the way, he has earned victories over notable and highly skilled opponents, showcasing a versatile fighting style that blends striking, wrestling, and grappling with remarkable composure. Usman's latest triumph came against Paul Hughes, a talented contender in his own right. That performance solidified Usman's standing as one of the brightest young stars in MMA. Their rematch, scheduled for October 3rd at the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai, is expected to draw significant attention, with many seeing it as another chance for Usman to prove his dominance on the international stage. On the other side of the spectrum stands Ilia Topuria, a fighter who has electrified the UFC with one of the most remarkable runs in recent history. Topuria has done what many thought impossible, knocking out 3 legends in a row: Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira. These victories didn't just elevate his reputation, they firmly established him as one of the most dangerous and exciting fighters on the UFC roster. What sets Topuria apart is not just his ability to finish fights, but also his confidence and personality. His self-belief is unshakable, and he has openly declared his intentions of facing Islam Makhachev, with plans to submit him in his favorite submission style. That boldness, combined with his skill, has made him a fan favorite. Many observers have even compared his charisma and fighting demeanor to that of Conor McGregor, suggesting that Topuria could be the UFC's next global superstar. Despite their differing paths, the debate over who is the better fighter, Usman Nurmagomedov or Ilia Topuria, remains unresolved. For Khabib, the answer is straightforward. Speculation is meaningless until the two men actually face each other inside the cage. They have to fight, Khabib said. People can talk, they can say whatever they want. In my opinion, as a well-rounded fighter, I think Usman is better. Khabib's statement underscores the essence of combat sports. No matter how impressive the records or how dominant the performance is, questions of supremacy can only be settled in the cage. While Topuria continues to chase glory in the UFC and Usman makes waves across organizations, fans can only dream of a potential showdown between the two. Should it ever happen, it would be a clash not just of skills but of legacy. Move on to another news. On September 19, the city of Moscow will transform into the center of the grappling world as it welcomes ACBJJ 18, a highly anticipated tournament held in memory of the late Ilia Topuria. This prestigious event promises fans an evening of elite competition, showcasing some of the best talents in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and no-gi grappling. The main event of the night has already generated massive buzz. UFC lightweight contender Arman Tsarukyan is set to face none other than Benson Henderson, a former UFC lightweight champion and one of the most respected veterans in the sport. This matchup bridges two generations of fighters: Tsarukyan, a rising star with a relentless style, and Henderson, a seasoned warrior whose experience and championship pedigree command global respect. For Tsarukyan, this bout represents more than just a grappling challenge. With no official UFC fight currently on his schedule, he is using competitions like this to maintain sharpness, test his skills against elite opposition, and stay active while awaiting his next assignment in the octagon. His decision to compete in grappling reflects both his commitment to evolving as a martial artist and his hunger to stay prepared for the UFC's lightweight division, one of the toughest and most stacked weight classes in the sport. On the other side, Benson Henderson enters this contest with nothing to prove but everything to showcase. Known for his resilience, composure, and adaptability, Henderson has built a legacy that includes memorable UFC battles and a championship reign. Competing against a young, explosive fighter like Tsarukyan is not only a test of skill, but also a demonstration of Henderson's passion for martial arts beyond MMA. The event card extends beyond this marquee matchup. Armenian fighter Artur Kasparyan will also be stepping onto the mats, adding to the diversity and international appeal of the tournament. Kasparyan's participation highlights the growing influence of Armenian athletes in combat sports, further solidifying ACBJJ's role as a platform for rising stars. ACBJJ 18 is not just about individual bouts. It is about bringing together some of the strongest Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and grappling athletes from around the world in a single showcase. Moscow, with its deep cultural ties to combat sports and a passionate fan base, provides the perfect backdrop for an event of this magnitude. Fans attending will witness not only high-level technical exchanges but also the spirit of respect and discipline that defines grappling. Tickets for the tournament are already available, with strong demand expected given the star power of Tsarukyan and Henderson. For Russian fans in particular, this is a rare chance to see their hometown UFC hero compete live in a different but equally thrilling discipline. Ultimately, ACBJJ 18 promises to be more than just another event on the calendar. It is a celebration of martial arts, a tribute to Ilia Topuria's memory, and a night that could deliver unforgettable moments in the grappling world. Move on to another news. The light heavyweight division is once again bracing for fireworks as Magomed Ankalaev prepares to defend his title in a rematch against former champion Alex Pereira at UFC 320 on October 4 inside the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The bout comes after Ankalaev dethroned Pereira earlier this year at UFC 313 via unanimous decision, a result that shocked many fans and analysts who believed Pereira's reign would last much longer. Now with the rematch set, both fighters are turning up the heat with bold comments and personal digs, further fueling the intensity of what is already one of the division's most high-stakes rivalries. Pereira's take: no trilogy on the horizon. Pereira, known to fans worldwide as Po-10, has made it clear that he has no interest in entertaining the idea of a trilogy fight should he reclaim the title from Ankalaev. Speaking to MMA Junkie, the Brazilian powerhouse explained that while he is open to fighting whoever the UFC puts in front of him, he doesn't believe Ankalaev would receive another title shot if he loses their second encounter. I think the story will be over, Pereira said. It's obviously out of my control, it's up to the UFC. If they want to do it again, I'll fight anyone. But to be honest, from everything we've seen, if he loses, I don't think he'll fight for the title again. The comment was more than just speculation. It was a subtle jab at Ankalaev's star power or lack thereof, and a reminder of the long road the Dagestani had to take to reach championship glory. Ankalaev's journey to gold. Ankalaev's climb has been steady but difficult. After losing his UFC debut in 2018 to Paul Craig, he bounced back with 9 straight wins, eventually earning a title shot against Jan Blachowicz in 2022. That bout ended in a controversial split draw, delaying his rise to the belt. It would take more than 2 years before Ankalaev finally secured his chance against Pereira, and he made the most of it, capturing the title in March 2025 at UFC 3. He captured the middleweight title in just his 4th UFC fight by knocking out Israel Adesanya in 2022. Though he lost the belt in a rematch, he quickly moved up to light heavyweight where he won the championship. And Poatan successfully defended the strap 3 times before falling to Ankalaev earlier this year. His speed of ascent and ability to conquer legends so quickly stands in stark contrast to Ankalaev's slow grind through the division. Personal digs raised the stakes. Adding more spice to the rivalry, Pereira suggested the rematch was arranged on his terms, implying he holds greater sway with the UFC than the champion. This statement didn't sit well with Ankalaev, who wasted no time firing back. "You're right, I'm not gonna have any say because you're gonna be sleeping and on your way working at the tire shop again." Ankalaev wrote on X, referencing Pereira's humble beginnings before his rise to combat sports fame. A clash of styles and legacies. The narrative going into UFC 320 couldn't be more compelling. Ankalaev, the calculated and technical Dagestani wrestler-striker, versus Pereira, the explosive former kickboxing world champion whose power has ended the reigns of some of MMA's biggest name. With bad blood, clashing fighting styles and the possibility of Pereira's redemption or Ankalaev's cemented dominance, the rematch promises not only to determine the future of the light heavyweight division, but also to add another dramatic chapter to UFC history. Move on to another news. Former UFC champion and current analyst, Daniel Cormier has weighed in on one of the most controversial announcements in combat sports this year: an exhibition boxing match between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson. The bout, announced earlier this month, has sparked frustration and skepticism among boxing fans who question the legitimacy and value of pitting a 47-year-old Mayweather against a 59-year-old Tyson. Tyson, who last competed in an exhibition against Jake Paul on Netflix in late 2024, faced heavy criticism for his performance and the nature of the contest. That fight, marketed as a blockbuster event, left many disappointed and questioning why Tyson continues to make comebacks when his prime fighting days are long behind him. Now, with Mayweather vs. Tyson set to unfold, many believe history is repeating itself. Cormier addressed the fight in a YouTube video, raising serious doubts about the credibility of the matchup. His primary concern revolves around the exhibition rules, which strip away the raw intensity and competitiveness that fans expect from elite fighters. "My biggest question always, around these things, is how do guys explain this to the general public?" Cormier asked. "It's not going to be an actual fight, it's going to be an exhibition. So how much in that exhibition are we supposed to believe that they're actually fighting?" According to Cormier, the problem with exhibition fights lies in the pace and intensity. Without real danger or the threat of a knockout, the spectacle feels hollow. He pointed to Tyson's exhibition with Roy Jones Jr. in 2020 as an example. Despite the hype, the fight underwhelmed because both fighters seemed hesitant to inflict real damage. The exhibition has to be fought at a pace and intensity level that make people go, "I want to watch this." Cormier continued, "But when Mike fought Roy Jones, it was something I would have been interested in. When the fight actually happened, it felt too much like Tyson wasn't trying to hurt Jones. That took away from the experience." Cormier argued that fans tune into combat sports for violence and intensity, not watered-down sparring sessions. "When I watch fights, I want to see people trying to hurt each other. It's what we sign up for," he said. "People love seeing fighters take risks. That element of danger is what makes combat sports so compelling." He further criticized Mayweather's repeated attempts to stay relevant through exhibition bouts. From his 2017 clash with Conor McGregor to his exhibition against Logan Paul, Mayweather has capitalized on spectacle more than substance. While these fights draw attention, Cormier believes they fail to deliver the authenticity fans crave. "I don't think those guys can promise violence." Cormier said bluntly, "We've already seen Floyd do this with Logan Paul. He's not looking to hurt anyone, and Mike Tyson at 59 isn't going to go full throttle either. One thing I know for sure, we're not going to see Mike starch Floyd." Cormier's remarks echo the sentiments of many disillusioned fans. While Mayweather vs. Tyson may sell tickets and attract headlines, the fight risks being remembered as another disappointing exhibition that fails to honor the legacies of two combat sports legends.